Hey guys, Feuerrm here, and today I'm going to be testing the Zenvo TS1 GT Anniversary in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 at max. No, I don't have this car maxed. You guys probably have seen the new multiplayer season that has come out, where everybody gets to try this car for free at max. Personally, I think this is a very great decision that will benefit both Gameloft and the players. Seasons like this are something that people have actually been asking for quite a while. Now, recently you guys may have seen in the Asphalt 9 official Discord, Gameloft made a special channel where people could put in their suggestions and everything about multiplayer so that presumably they could improve it using those suggestions. I don't know if this was a suggestion in there, but I do know people have been asking for it for a while, and I'm just glad it's finally here because it gives people a chance to test this car that a lot of them are going to work pretty hard to get. And this is where it comes to benefiting Gameloft, because Gameloft has let literally everybody try this car. And it is an amazing car to drive. I really like it, honestly. It feels a lot like the Fenner and the Sheeran combined in a weird sort of way. I'll explain about that later. But since it's such a nice car to drive, a lot more people most likely are actually going to be trying hard to get this, and that benefits Gameloft because, well, let's just say people are going to need a lot of resources for this event, and I'll explain about that as well. So in this video are 7 sequential races starting from the very beginning of the season. As you can see there, I was at 1019, had gone up 19 points. Had just started fresh at 1000, and I managed to get to top 10 in this multiplayer season in just 7 races, and that is what this video is about. But also, it is about testing this car on different tracks at max, because I'm sure a lot of you guys will be interested to know how it sort of does on various places. And as you could probably tell so far, it's a fairly easy car to drive. It has very good drifting and maybe not so great nitro efficiency, and that's sort of what I'm getting the Sheeran part from, but it has more of the acceleration and top speed of the Fenner. So that's what I meant earlier about that. It actually has a bit higher top speed than the Fenner, clocking in at 275 miles per hour, which is just in between the Fenner and Sheeran. So I would say that overall, yes, this car actually would be better than the Fenner at max. However, given the situation in the special event, pretty much nobody is actually going to be able to get this car more than a few stars, except for maybe 10 people. So you see, in this multiplayer season, which lasts for 2 weeks, you get 1 blueprint for this car just for playing the multiplayer season, and I think top 1,500 or something get like 5 and 10 blueprints for this car respectively. But if you get top 10 in the multiplayer, this one here that I'm playing in, you get 60 Zenvo TS1 blueprints, and I think the top 1 gets 73. So that 60 is enough to unlock the car, and presumably the 73 is enough to 2-star it. So that will definitely be a big help to getting this car and starring it up for anybody who actually manages to do that. And I will most likely be at least trying for top 10 in the season, because I think that with enough time and ads played on the car to refill it, I'd probably be able to do it. And the thing is, I really don't know if I'll be able to get this car without that, because you need things like a max Feuerrm. Well, I had basically no tokens when the Feuerrm packs come out, so I only managed to 3-star it. So that's not going to happen. We are also going to need a 5-star Artega, which is going to be a new car, and a 5-star 911, and you might even need 6-star of a few of those cars. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of tokens having to be spent, and the thing is, again, so the Lycan and 918 are also used, but again, there is a King of the Fall pack too, which has the Feuerrm, 918, and Lycan. The thing is, I'm basically in the same predicament that I was in the Sena event, with having 2 of the cars maxed in those packs, and just having 1 not maxed. Previously it was the 570S, now it's the Feuerrm, so I don't really want to spend tokens on those, because I might not get any Feuerrm blueprints whatsoever, and just get a bunch of trade coins. Now, that is maybe not terrible, but for 750 tokens, that's not what you want, and I already have 27,000 trade coins, because after I 4-starred the Sena R1, I haven't actually been buying any more of those. Now you may be thinking, why is he doing that? Well, I'm saving them in case I need a bunch of epics of a certain car, or at least a few of them for something, for some special event or whatever, and it would allow me to get the car. I mean, the difference difference between me getting it and not getting it, that sort of thing, because I don't need a 5-star Sena R1 necessarily. That wouldn't be all that useful in of itself. So it's best for me to just wait and see what I can get with those later. And the thing is, the epic import parts and stuff like that are very expensive in there. They can cost up to 10,000 trade coins. So what I have now would actually only be enough to get me 2. So that's what I'm saving those for. Now, something that is quite annoying actually about the special event is it only gives 61 blueprints for the car all throughout it. That is barely enough to unlock it if you have everything for the event. And I'll tell you what specifically cars you will need in the next race, because I have gotten a list of them and how many blueprints you will get for each stage. So here we've gotten first for the 4th time in a row. Let's see if we can keep it up until we reach top 10. So the special event for the Zenvo is set up pretty much like the one for the Sena. You've got the conditions, and I misspoke earlier because those conditions actually give you 24 blueprints for this car. If you get up to 350 conditions, I think it is, that's when you can get the last 5 of those. So you, in fact, don't need to get all of those cars, hopefully, at max in order to get the car. Now, the cars that you will need are, and I'm now going to be reading from the list, 4-star maxed Artega, 5-star maxed Porsche 918, 5-star maxed Lycan, 5 or 6-star 911 GTS, and 5 or 6-star Pagani Huayra. Yeah, I'm glad we're not going to need all of those at max because of those conditions. Thank you, conditions. And since top 1000 in the multiplayer season gives you 5 blueprints for the car and top 100 gives you 10, that means you're probably going to get maybe around half of what's needed to get this car if you do the multiplayer and play through the event a lot. All this to say, I'm definitely going to be trying to get this car in any way that I possibly can, aside from spending real money on the game, because as you guys have probably known for a good while now, I'm not going to do that. And the reason is not because of the car itself, because it's really not going to be all that good at 1 or 2 stars. I mean, it'll be okay, but I can just imagine its nitro efficiency maybe being a bit of a problem there. The reason that I'm going for it is because Gameloft has said specifically that you will need the Zenvo and Sena to unlock the next car that's coming in a special event, presumably, which will be some sort of super secret car or something, possibly the Vanda. I've talked a bit about that before. The reason I cut out the last part of that race was because, number 1, nothing really happened in it, and number 2, because one big point of this video is to show you guys how the car performs on different tracks. And, well, that specific variant I had already shown at the beginning of the... So there wasn't a big reason to keep that there. So now we're on to a duel race, actually, and this one I was originally expecting to be a bit close, but then he fell behind and then left the track, and yeah. But this thing is here, I'm not going to skip this because this is one that we haven't seen driving this car on yet. And really, what you can probably see throughout this video is that this car can do great on a variety of different sorts of tracks, because it has the speed, it has the handling. I mean, it's got pretty much everything except sort of mediocre nitro efficiency. It's not terrible, it's not great, I'd say it's rather average. It definitely feels better than it did in Asphalt 8, where it had rather bad drifting. So guys, some of you may have heard, but I have managed to unlock the Sena at 1 star and 1 blueprint above that, actually. So I will be making a couple videos about that car, probably not mine since at 1 star it's honestly not great and I would have to get to Legend League, which is terribly boring in all the rush seasons they seem to do now, and because it wouldn't really do very good against other S-Class cars, especially higher starred ones. So I'm going to get a few people to test it at higher ranks for me, and I'm sure you guys will like those races. After this race, we reach 1096 rating, going up 6, and we get to top 10 right after this. So to end off the video, we have one where I reach up to 1100 rating, and at the time I recorded this, there were only about 10 people with that, because the season had only come out maybe 10 hours before I recorded these races, and because the car uses 3 fuel and takes 6 hours to refuel, well, the only way that people are going to get much above that is to do ads or to pay a lot of tokens. And since it lasts 14 days, I figured that's not a good idea. I'm just going to play the long game, although I did spend a few tokens and watch some ads in order to get this car up. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be going for the top 10, but that's how I managed to get to top 10 so easily, just because hardly anybody is going to continuously refuel this car like I did. But the ones that did got pretty high up, and I know I'm going to have quite a few tryhards to go up against when I'm going for top 10. And I mean, I don't say that in a bad way. They're going for something extremely good, and there's probably going to be a lot of very good competition later on this season, because people really are going to want those 60 blueprints for the Zenvo. So my general review of the car, it is definitely a good one, better than the Feuerrm, but worse than the Tryon, Regera, Sheeran, etc. Pretty good drifting and speed, rather average acceleration and nitro efficiency. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, and Minecraft content. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!